Space! This is FTL, Faster Than Light, the only game to truly replicate how it feels to constantly be murdered over and over again, just when you're so close to your goal, but in space. The Advanced Edition expansion pack just came out for this game, so now seems like the best time to review it. Also, I was Steam gifted this game by my good friend Modlet, his YouTube channel link in the description. Like always, there might be very minor spoilers in this video, so if you care about even the smallest spoilers, I recommend just quitting the video and checking out the game's website or something like that, just to get a general idea of what the game is about. FTL, aka Faster Than Light, is essentially a space roguelike in which you play as the captain of a Galactic Federation spacecraft attempting to reach its headquarters to give information on how they can stop their enemy, the rebel forces. When you start the game, you are brought to the hangar, a place where you can choose what ship you want to take out into the deep, vast reaches of space. This is where you choose your difficulty, the name of your crew, and other various settings that decide how the game plays out. The customization factor of FTL, though extremely limited at first, becomes very deep, and the different ships you can choose make playing the game so much different than it is when you start out with the beginning ship, the Kestrel. Once you're finally out in space, you'll notice some things. 1, there's a lot of things on the screen that seem overwhelming, and 2, space looks really fucking cool. Just to run down everything, that health bar up there is your hull. Don't let this empty or your adventure will come to a very quick end. Right next to your hull is your scrap. This is essentially the in-game currency that you'll be using to upgrade your ship. Next to that is the FTL drive. This is essentially how you're going to be getting around in the game. When you have jumped somewhere, you'll have to wait for this bar to fill up. Also, the ship button takes you to the upgrade menu. Under your hull, you have shields, your amount of fuel, missiles, and drone parts, your oxygen percentage as well as your chance to evade enemy attacks, and finally, under that is your crew. Starting with your shields, the amount of blue boxes is how many levels of shields you have. When you get hit, a level goes down. You can upgrade your shields via the ship upgrade menu with some scrap. To the right of your shields is your fuel, missiles, and drone parts. Fuel is the amount of times you can jump to other locations. Missiles are essentially ammo for some of the more powerful weapons in the game. And finally, drone parts are the things required to summon drones to protect you, fight for you, and do several other things. The crew interface simply lists your crew along with their names and health. This is used simply to keep control of your crew and see how good specific members are at things like repairing your ship or piloting it. And finally, at the bottom are all your systems. The green bars are how much power is dedicated to one particular system. For example, I don't generally level up my oxygen, so I have only dedicated 1 bar of power to it to allow other systems to become more useful to me. We also have the subsystems, which are automatically fully powered and don't require as much attention as the main systems. Right next to the systems are all of your weapons and how much bars of power you need to operate them. Also, if there is a missile on one particular weapon, it requires ammo, but is likely more powerful than some of the other weapons. That's pretty much FTL's interface in a nutshell. It seems a bit complicated at first, but when you start playing, you should get the hang of it rather easily. And now that we're done talking about the not too complicated UI of FTL, we can finally get to some of the other things like the soundtrack. The soundtrack of this game, composed by, may I add, one person, is excellent. Here's a preview of one of the songs. This fucking guy, he's awesome, and you should buy the soundtrack. It's available as DLC for the game on Steam. Once you've made your first jump to one of the many waypoints, you may encounter an enemy ship, and so begins your journey into FTL's combat. If I explained it in this video, it would take way too long, so I'm just going to say it's rather intense. The combat is the bread and butter of FTL, and you're going to be running into a lot of people wanting to kill you, and let me tell you, this game is very fucking hard. Also, it's permadeath, so if your ship explodes, then you have to start the game all over again. Easy is hard, normal is insane, and hard is downright impossible. You have to be really good at this game even to beat it on easy. FTL is going to take a lot of time away from your life, so you better be ready. About actually never beaten the game in my 10 hours of playing so far, which is usually longer than AAA single player games. I have made it to the final boss of the game twice. It's that hard. And once you've made it to the goddamn thing, you better be ready for the fight of your life. This thing is brutal. Its multiple weapons have their own systems, and it has its other ships fire at you from the background. If you think you're getting a break after going through everything to get to the final boss, you're horribly mistaken. When you jump, there is also a chance that you may encounter a distress waypoint, and this means someone needs help. You usually help people in the form of choosing things to do via text, and sometimes doing the right thing leads to some consequences. You've destroyed several ships, upgraded your own ship, been eaten by a giant spider, and beaten the final boss, and you're rewarded with an achievement, some credits, and possibly a new high score. That's literally it. After all your hard work, that's what you get. Wonderful, isn't it? But of course, that doesn't mean you had fun along the way. Plus, the game is very replayable, so you can beat it again with a different ship and spend another 100 hours attempting to defeat the final boss. The gameplay is so fun that you'll be able to beat the final boss with all the ships and their individual types without getting bored. And with the new Advanced Edition, there are even more events, 2 more ships, and new types to all of them. There are a few minor annoyances with the game though. The game, despite actually being made for the PC, is missing some options that it should definitely have. I don't know if it's because of engine limitations, but the game can't even go into full screen without you having to quit it and go back into it again. Flash games can do this. Also, the ship customization is a bit of a missed opportunity. You can't really make your own ship or even edit some of the rooms of the ships already in the game. I get that it's likely for balancing, but you could have made it so there was like a set amount of rooms that you could edit or something like that. Overall, FTL Faster Than Light is a wonderful game that's going to take a lot of time out of your life, because it may be hard and you might sometimes feel like you'll never beat the game and want to quit, but the amount of fun there is to be had in this game makes up for the stress you might be getting from trying so hard and failing to defeat the final boss. FTL is a great game with great gameplay and an awesome soundtrack and some wonderful fun to be had. Also, the game has modding compatibility. There are so many mods that go from adding new ships all the way to completely changing how you play the game. FTL gets a 9.5 out of 10. Please subscribe for more reviews of games such as The Walking Dead and more coming soon. See you guys, Jarrodfeng out, and cue the music!